Hi, I'm Cristin Lowe. I'm a divorce and family law attorney and I practice here in Alameda County. So today we're going to show you a little bit around the courthouse and what to expect before your hearing. So first of all, let's get you to the courthouse. So we are located right here on Shoreline Drive, and you will know you're here by one side over here. We've got the post office. And from the side that you're probably going to be coming down getting to the courthouse, it's here in over down there is the McDonald's. And going up, we are right between McDonald's and the post office, so let's take you inside the courthouse and let you take a look around. All right, so we are first in the parking lot, and we are in the Bay Area, so remember when you're coming to court to give yourself enough time to get through all of that traffic. Luckily for us, in the Alameda County parking lot, it's free, so no paid parking here. If, however, you're not on time, you are going to be stuck parking on the street unless it's Friday, and on Fridays they don't have the street parking. You'll end up parking blocks away. So my first tip is make sure you get here early enough to make sure there's parking. If you get here really early, there's a Panera right around the corner, as well as some other coffee shops. So please get here early and give yourself time to relax and take a deep breath so you're not all stressed out and worried before going to court. Okay, so now let's talk a little bit about what to expect on the morning of your hearing. First of all, what to wear. I prefer, and I always advise my clients to dress business casual, to think that you're going to an interview. You want to be respectful, but you want to be comfortable, and you just want to look really professional and put together. So modest clothing, not a lot of makeup, not a lot of jewelry, just look very calm and professional. Remember, this is a really important deal that you're going into. The judge expects you to be respectful of the process, to respect him or her, and to respect the system itself. So, plus, you also have the thing, if you are afraid, just fake it. So wearing something nice, wearing something that's going to give you confidence, that's just going to make you feel a lot better about the process. When you get to the courthouse, you're actually going to go through something similar to airport security. Now, this is one of the smaller courtrooms and courthouses, so you don't have nearly the line that you would at other courthouses like Hayward, for example. But once you get through the security here, it is very much like TSA. You're going to have to take off your shoes if you have metal in them. You need to empty out your pockets, no weapons, no security things. One time we had an associate attorney come in here with her pepper spray and she got held up, so let's not make those mistakes again. Now we're going to take you as close as we can into the actual inside of the building itself. Cameras aren't allowed in the courthouses, but we're going to give you the best shot we can. So once you get past the metal detectors, you're going to actually enter the main lobby of the courthouse itself. It's a very small courthouse, so if you're feeling a little bit nervous, be glad, because you're in one of the smallest courthouses you're ever going to find. If you have some last second things you need to do, the bathroom will be a good idea, because you might be sitting around all morning. But also, if you have papers to file and you're not going here for a hearing, what you need to know is where the clerk's window is, which is over on the right-hand side. The clerk window hours are right now from 8:30 until 4:30 p.m. And the biggest tip I can give you for filing things in the clerk's office is to be polite. Think of it like DMV. Day in, day out, they are dealing with people and papers and angry, unhappy clients, and they don't want to have to deal with those. So the nicer you are to your clerks, the better results you're going to get. Always come prepared, be organized, don't ask them for legal advice. They're not attorneys. Nothing irritates them more than people being rude and people asking them to do things that they don't know how to give advice on or how to help the people with. Remember what their job is there to help you. If, however, you are actually going to court, you need to know that there are 3 departments for family law. There's Department 301, 302, and 303. And the first department, 301, is located on the first floor. If you have a Department of Child Support Services case, that's where you're going to be heard. And your judge is going to be Commissioner Nixon. He's a very, very nice judge. Everybody likes him. He's been doing it for a very long time. He knows family law very well. He's very respectful of the litigants. So trust that you're in good hands with Commissioner Nixon. If you've got your standard family law matter, you're probably going to be upstairs in either Department 302 or 303, and that's with either Judge Wise or with Judge Markman. Both of them are very good judges, very different personalities, but the key to remember is just to be respectful. That's the best advice I can give you. Be on time, be courteous to yourself, the staff, the judge, and more importantly, the other side. As hard as that might be, you need to be polite. One of the things judges like you to do is do something called meet and confer. So that's basically fancy schmancy legalese for you need to talk to the other person beforehand. If there's a restraining order, don't worry about that. You do want to avoid the other person, but in all other situations, you definitely want to do something called meet and confer beforehand. You will hear the judges say it over and over again. Did you meet and confer? And it's not just you guys, it's also the attorneys. We're expected to meet and confer as well. And the reason for that is because when you get upstairs and look at the calendar docket, you'll see that there are a lot of cases on for the morning of your hearing. A lot of people are surprised. They think they're the only case on that morning. No. There's anywhere from 8 to sometimes even over 20 cases heard in a morning. So the more you can narrow down the issues, so rather than being completely surprised when you get up to the tables and start talking to the judge, if you can narrow down your 10 issues to 2 issues, the judges are going to be much happier with you. You're going to get better results, and everyone's going to be a lot happier with the whole process. So when you do get to your hearing, I was mentioning this earlier, you're going to go upstairs and you're going to look at the calendar, and there's going to be basically a list with all of the names of the cases that are going to be heard that morning, and there's going to be something called line numbers. So your case will actually be a number. It's going to be 1, might be 18 or 19 or 20, and it's going to have a time. If you're on the 9 o'clock calendar, the 9:05 calendar, the 10 o'clock calendar, your clerk will thank you if you know what line number you're the petitioner or the respondent, and which calendar you're on, whether it's the 9 o'clock calendar or the 10 o'clock calendar. So the more organized you can be for your clerk when you check in, the better off. So once you get your line number, you know your case name, you know your time that you're on. When you go in, you wait for the clerk, and there's going to be a court attendant. So the court attendant is basically the person who keeps everything in the courthouse or the courtroom organized. Think of it like the judge's right-hand person. And the court attendant will tell you to check in with the court clerk, and the court clerk has that morning's docket or the morning's calendar. So what you're going to do is you're going to stand in line. If you don't know what to do, just follow everyone else, because there's going to be a long line out the door, I promise you on that one. And just go in and tell the clerk your name, your line number, and the calendar time that you're on, and then just go ahead and sit in the audience. So a lot of people are afraid that there's going to be a jury or something like that. If there are people sitting in the jury box, they're attorneys, they're interpreters, they're court staff or personnel, you are not going to be judged by a jury during a family law matter. You're going to be heard by one person, and that person is your judge. So in this case, it's going to be Judge Wise, Judge Markman, or Commissioner Nixon. When you sit down in the audience, if you have any sort of restraining order, you want to make sure and avoid the other party and just kind of sit on the opposite side. Turn off your cell phone, no Kindles, no books, hats off. If you're wearing sunglasses, take those off. Again, when I was saying respect, decorum, do it all, especially with anything that records. So phones and recording devices must absolutely be turned off. Alameda County has a very strict policy, and you don't want to be one of those people who gets their cell phones confiscated. Most of the judges, what they do in this courthouse is that they'll do something called a roll call. So when he comes or she comes out on the bench, they'll sit down and they'll start going through the calendar, and they'll call your name. So when your name is called, you could say present, you could say here, you can raise your hand. You just need to make sure you get your judge's attention. Sometimes the judge will have questions for you during the roll call. They're not a signal or a sign for you to go up to the table. It's really all a roll call. So sometimes the judge will say something like, have you seen the other party? Or are you expecting the other party to go or to come? Or have you served the other party? So just do your best to answer the judge's questions. If you don't understand, just say so. They are human. They are people. They want to help you. And the best way that you can help them do their jobs better is to just listen to the questions and follow the directions. Just another tip, you might do something called child custody recommending counseling. And if you got a notice in the mail, you'll also be going to the courthouse for that. So here in Alameda County, the CCRC, or the Mediation Center, is actually located on the 2nd floor. It's a very small courthouse, so you've got the 2 courtrooms upstairs, and then you have the Mediation Center. If you are doing any sort of custody or visitation dispute, you are going to be assigned to CCRC, or Child Custody Recommending Counseling. Same deal, when you get in through the security system, you're going to have to go upstairs and you're going to check in with them, and you'll have your appointment time. So I hope this has been helpful for you. Take a deep breath, relax. The courthouse is really a tool to help you get through your family law matter. I know it's intimidating. I know there's nothing I can say that's going to make it less so. I get scared sometimes going to court. But the key to remember is be respectful, be on time, and follow directions. Good luck.